Three, two, one. Welcome back, everyone. It's Reviews from the West, and we're doing another episode. If you're listening to us on YouTube, stop doing that. We're actually on iTunes and Spotify and also Podbean. Make sure to give us a little rating and review on Apple iTunes if you could be so kind. And and enjoy the show. We got two very interesting films with somewhat similar themes going on, and we hope you enjoyed this discussion. We have a special guest who will introduce in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Hello.
It's Nathan.
Nathan.
Hi. Hello. My name is Nathan. Relatively new. I'm here at the request of Nick.
That's me.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I'm really honored to be here. Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Welcome to
glad
the show,
have you here.
Nathan.
Thank
Cool.
you.
We're also joined by Chace once again.
Chace is here again.
Hello.
Chace.
I think I'm just I kind of consider myself a permanent squatter.
I
think-
We
I
said it
think
last time, and
yeah,
I
I think
we can say it again.
yeah, I think it's nothing official. We don't have any labels yet, but it's getting pretty serious. So
You
I
give
mean-
good insight. You know movies, so you see you're a very good fit.
And
You know
you're
what?
funny as fuck.
I try. I definitely try.
Well,
Wait,
we
you
tried.
guys, hang on. He said label. Isn't that a great segue?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Zinger! Woo!
so
Oh, yeah.
Zinga.
we got two films to talk about, and if you didn't read the title, let me spill those for you. We have The Myth of the American Sleepover, directed by David Robert Mitchell. If you don't know him, he directed It Follows and the recently underappreciated, underrated, thrown to the dirt Under the Silver Lake, which is one of the
Oh.
best films of 2019, hands
So good.
down.
It's pretty
so-
amusing.
Then we also have Totally Fucked Up by director Greg Araki, who is a pretty important figure of queer cinema in the 90s. And
Okay, that makes sense.
so, yeah, which film do you guys want to talk about first? What's on your
Sleepover.
Sleepover.
I drew that
Yeah.
like a gun.
All right, hold on. Let's pause
Definitely.
for a second. Chase is muted.
Oh.
Chace is muted.
I'm
What for?
sorry. I was go ahead. If I'm muted, I'm in the midst of moving at the moment, so
Okay,
I'm a
all
little,
right.
I'm a little here and there. If
Alright.
it's important, I will I'm just gonna mute myself.
Sounds
like
good.
if okay, sorry, my bad. I guess I should have said something. My
Wow,
bad.
awkward.
All right.
I know,
Eh.
Jesus Christ, I'll show myself out, God.
And
So yeah, so we're gonna talk about the myth.
resume record.
Yeah, okay. So Myth American Sleepover. Nick, the synopsis man, that's kind of your role.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, I'm the synopsis
20
guy.
episodes in, I think
I
it's
kind
safe
of like it. It's a good vibe. It's a good role for you. I feel, Nick. You have a very
Sure.
good. You have a good flow with it and everything. I think that's a beautiful role for you.
Thank you, man.
You're kind
Of
of like the
course.
IMDb if IMDb were a human.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
And really liked James Cameron.
What's wrong with that? Don't we're not gonna start that again.
All right.
So anyways,
introduce us to this
we
film, Nick.
got first up is The Myth of the American Sleepover. It revolves around a small group of teenagers in Michigan who are enjoying their last night of summer and by going to a bunch of different sleepovers and just kind of party hopping from one to another. Along the way, they're discovering themselves, finding their place in their teenage lives, and just trying to eke out a good time in this small town of nothingness.
Yeah,
Bravo.
beautiful.
Bravo.
Solid synopsis.
Now, yeah. Now, I'll be I'll be the first to say, I almost wrote this movie off completely up until I saw this was directed by David Robert Mitchell.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
a pretty decent up and comer director. It Follows creeped me the hell out when I saw it, and Under the Silver Lake is amusing at best.
More than
So-
amusing, pal.
Well, for me, I was kind of taken aback by the whole '90s nostalgia infused conspiracy noir storytelling.
Oh, dude, It's amazing.
Fucking
It is
amazing.
amazing.
It's
But
fucking incredible.
yeah.
Nathan, have you seen It Follows or Under the Silver Lake?
I've seen It Follows, and um, I think for me, or in my opinion, I think that's what really set him on the marker was It Follows,
Of
like because
course.
people
Most
that's
definitely.
that's what had it, people start talking and being like, "Well, this is kind of a unique take on the horror genre," and I will myself agree. That's it. I saw it for the first time when I saw it. Yeah, it's not so much of a jump scare factors that more horror movies like are getting into, like The Conjuring and stuff like that. But it's more of just a kind of uneasiness that
Oh yeah.
lingers. Quite
No,
literally, yeah.
yeah,
it's
it's
Yeah.
very old school in terms of wanting to creep you out. Minus one really cool jump scare. The whole movie is built around atmosphere and dread, which is something I really appreciate. And it's
Yeah.
and it feels very throwback to the John Carpenters of bygone era, which is very
Yeah.
nice. Right down to the synth score.
Oh, that is a great thing you bring up, because I'm pretty sure either today or yesterday was the 25th, or not 25th, Jesus. I think like 50th or something like that. I don't know how 40th anniversary of The Thing.
That's right.
Oh.
38 years ago it came out.
38. Gotcha. I
Yeah.
was close. 40, but yeah, no, that's right. I think that's a beautiful way of describing It Follows. It's very Carpenter-esque.
absolutely.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It doesn't make any bones about it either. Or it doesn't beat around the bush. There
No.
are times where it feels like direct referencing to
Exactly.
Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah. So this
So
is your
yeah,
guys'
this
first time
movie.
seeing this film, right?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
it is. I didn't think he made a movie before It Follows. I thought
Yeah.
that was his breakthrough.
Seems like it was a pretty well received Sundance flick.
Of course it was. I don't doubt that
Yeah.
for a second.
See a nostalgic Sundance flick.
Yeah.
What were you guys' thoughts on this one? What did you guys think?
I liked it, but it's also kind of corny a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because teen drama. It could be really good teen drama. I'm still gonna talk over and make fun of it a lot of the time. It's like, oh no, you like this girl. Oh no, you're at the wrong crowd. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate. So yeah,
Yeah, it felt
I
like
was.
narrative. Oh, sorry.
No. I talk too much.
I was gonna. Sorry.
You're good.
Don't
I felt like
don't.
narrative. Oh,
Son of a. Okay,
rock,
Jesus
rock,
Christ.
paper, scissors. Okay.
Nick, stop
No,
that.
I
No.
felt like
Nate, talk.
I felt like narratively speaking, this is definitely all over the place. Like, it follows a lot of. Oh, I said it follows.
Oh.
Oh.
Nice.
No, but there's a lot of characters and a lot of things that you're keeping track of, but it is pretty simple. Like it's just it boils down to yeah, there's a lot of just unnecessary drama that happens with teenagers in high school, and
Yeah.
you kind of see that play out. And
I feel like that was what the intent they was going for. They wanted to do a realistic teen. They wanted to do a realistic teen drama, as opposed to something like John Hughes would make. Granted, John Hughes a bit more. He goes a bit more out there with his directing.
A bit more
where he did-
entertaining for sure.
More
Absolutely.
entertaining, yeah. But
That's the,
this is the realistic version where there's a lot of awkward conversations, a lot of pointless small talk, a lot of mumbling. There's so much
Yeah.
mumbling in this movie.
I think I would say it's realistic to a certain extent.
right.
Yeah.
Something that was really bothering me is so at the time, I'm decently younger than everyone here.
Wait, hold on. How old are you, Chase?
I'm 22. I'm turning 23.
Okay, I
Sweet.
mean, you're not that much younger.
Well, wait, how old is Nathan?
Oh yeah, how old is Nathan?
Well, born in
I'm
'94. Okay.
I'm 21.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh. Well,
We're all in our early 20s.
cool.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, but this felt the language and everything that was being used, like the the way that people talked and like the things that they were doing felt more middle school and less
Yeah.
high school to me.
For sure.
It could
Yeah.
be that our generation is just we were doing that stuff earlier.
Well, they were all
and
freshmen in the film, weren't they? Most of the main
well, it
characters.
was freshmen, seniors, and then fucking Scott, I think his name was. He was a senior in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was freshmen. Like, it was a bunch of it was
It's a mix.
decent, but I guess you're right. The main people it follows, is are freshmen or sophomores or something. But the conversations just felt a little. It felt really, really prepubescent instead of pubescent, where you're kind of he's talking. People are nervous about kissing girls and stuff like that, but I feel
Yeah.
like that was more of a middle school thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be
Again,
more they would be more concerned with going further than that.
yeah, absolutely. And it, there wasn't a single. I mean, there wasn't a. This is fucking weird to say, but there wasn't a single sex scene between two characters.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like in a
Yeah.
realistic high school scenario, everybody would be having sex with each other. Like,
That's the thing. 'Cause, yeah.
And I felt like also too, it was more like if we're gonna really get into like nitpicking, I mean there's like some situations in the movie, for example, I'm forgetting the character's name, but he is Scott's the one who's going in
Go for the
college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Twins.
tracking down the
Yeah.
twins.
So when he goes to the twins, just that whole
That was so awkward. Such
thing
a
to
weird.
like go into the dorms and stuff like that and find them. I don't know. If I were the girls, realistically the girls would be weirded out. I feel
yeah.
like.
Oh, yeah. absolutely.
Also, nobody has peripheral vision in this movie. He walks through rows of college girls sleeping in sleeping bags in an open gym, and not one of them takes note of the adult male
Well,
Just the
walking
one
through the ranks.
guy.
They weren't even college. Those were high school seniors.
No, it was college. They were freshmen
Was it?
Yeah,
college.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
what
lot
made it
less
a little
creepy
less
then.
creepy. Yeah. But
I was
still,
like, I was really weirded out. I was like, this guy's fucking creeping on some high schoolers, and the chaperones at the high school are like letting this, 23-year-old dude walk in with these like 17 and 18-year-olds.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
So
He's
It's like,
maybe
is no one concerned? What?
he's
Yeah.
one of the
What?
It Follows ghosts. Clearly,
Exactly.
So I kind of like the
Inspiration.
the emotions and the
No.
the themes that carried along with that character, because it kind of it's relatable for us out of high school. It's kind of like you're lost, you're not really sure where to go. You kind of look back, kind of see what those good moments, and trying to
Yeah.
try to reconnect.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. In fact, I
but-
think Paul was the one I related to the most. I thought he was the most interesting character. Like, yeah, at first this is a weirdo situation. He even says it's a weird situation at a couple
Mhm.
different points. But as you watch it more, as I watched it more, I was getting more comfortable with him. Like Paul's the nice guy.
Which one's Paul?
Paul's the quiet type.
Oh, that's the main character, right? The high
I
schooler.
guess so. Who
Well,
is the
it's
main
kind
Yeah,
of-
character?
I
in this
don't know
movie?
exactly who is the main character. I honestly could not tell you.
Is it the
Chace with
kid
red
in the
shirt, right?
plaid shorts stalking Jamie Lynn Spears? I don't think so. Is it the girl with the piercings who dances to jazz? I don't
Yeah.
think so.
I think
Wait,
there's
Jamie
a lot-
Lynn Spears? Hang on.
Wait,
No. The girl the girl he's chasing. I immediately said to myself, she looks like Jamie Lynn Spears.
Oh, bro,
Is it Jamie Lynn Spears? Oh, okay.
I was
Like I
like,
was just like, no way,
Yeah, I'm
no way.
pretty sure
like,
No.
pregnant at the
She's
time.
out of the game. She was out of the. She's way out of the game now.
right.
Zoe 101? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, she quit after Zoe won.
No. She got fired. She got
got
fired
fired.
because her
That's
ass
what I
got
meant.
pregnant.
That's what I meant. And she hasn't acted ever again.
Nope. She's being a mom, which is cool. Like, good for you.
For
That's
her.
good. That's great. But this chick, though, back on point, looked a lot like Zoe 101.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted on this film because I do appreciate the simplicity and the more of a an observation of characters kind of figuring themselves out and dealing with those confusing emotions that every teen goes through, and it's just I like films that just sort of observe and let you just sit in the situations and environments, but it,
Yeah.
I don't know. It definitely reeks of 2000, late 2000s, early 10s
early
to me.
early 2010s, yeah.
I
Uh,
wanted to actually add on to what you said, sorry, Victor, about appreciating like the simplicity of it. One thing I also really like adding on to that, I really liked how it looks, the movie looks overall. Like it does, like you say, look very minimalistic, and to some extent I was surprised that like it came out in 2010. I was just like, wow, really? This
Yeah.
movie actually kind of looks like it came out in 2002, 2003, because like
Yeah.
No,
Interesting.
you know what?
that's how it kind of looked to me, you know?
You know what it
Okay.
looked like to me was, yeah, you're driving modern cars and whatnot. This movie looked like the freaking 70s. I swear. I never seen this many teenagers not on their smartphones and going out and doing activities in my
Yeah,
life.
Hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
they're going to swimming pools, they're going to parties, they're walking the streets, they're chatting with each other, they're
yeah.
ogling over bad horror movies and seeing the naked girls, y-
What,
and not a single phone in sight.
what
It's
also
I
like I'm
mean,
found
time traveling here.
yeah.
the people that I know from like the teenagers that I know from this generation of when this movie took place were, I mean, like mostly getting into like Xbox 360 and stuff like that, like Call of
Yeah.
Sure,
Duty and stuff like
Oh yeah.
that.
Right.
sure.
So it's just like, wow, it's like people are going outside. This can't be the 2010s. This
Oh
Right.
no.
this isn't right.
What I
Yeah,
also found
but
interesting too was the lack of adults in the film. That
Oh yeah.
was
Oh,
yeah,
interesting
yeah.
I
because
actually
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
I think
feel
you only see parents really in that supermarket scene with
Mhm.
yeah,
Paul.
Yeah.
But I don't remember really seeing any parents throughout the entire film, and I kind of like how it kind of takes them out of the picture in a way. I don't know what the point of that was, but I do kind of like that, where
Yeah.
you
I
don't
think
have that
it's
parental.
as populated as an Ed and an Eddie episode.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
there's a similar. It feels very similar to It Follows in that way because in that film, it's strictly the
The kids, yeah.
teens. There are no adults to help out, and
Which
so
I think that's probably the goal was he was like, I'm gonna oh god.
Humming, humming,
I had
humming,
to
humming.
burp real quick and I was like, I'm gonna make sure I'm away from the mic. But uh the you can feel that it's trying to pay attention to just the teenagers.
right,
So
and
I
Mhm.
think the lack of adults, like in It Follows, makes this a better film in the long run.
I agree because also as well,
Yeah,
it's like it's showing that sure parents can influence their children and lead them
Yeah,
in certain paths, but ultimately it's up to the kids to decide who they are, what they're doing, um, and I think that's a pretty different, but also I think a very true look on a teenager's life.
yeah,
hmm,
I feel
Yeah.
like it's kind of just up to them to figure out what they want. Um,
yeah,
I really
I
appreciate
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, this does have it's also got kind of a warm, it's got a very relaxed tone to it,
it
because
perfectly captures a summer night like
yeah,
it
it
should be.
feels
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah. I agree with that.
American Graffiti without the rock and roll. That's what I
Mhm.
thought of it in the long run. Uh, and so and also yeah, it's very relaxed, and also, and like Nate said, it looks really nice, and some of that is the camera work. I feel for
Yeah,
an indie movie, this is some great camera work. For one thing, shots look
Yeah.
like they were planned. They didn't just go to handheld by default and just sort of go the go down that cliche visual route. No, shots had some planning to them. They were different lenses, rack and focus, and all that. And the directing is really good in that they find ways to connect characters within the frame. Like we see these different characters at different points by themselves, and then they intersect uh, with each other's frame space at every
Mhm.
other point.
Going on that, I actually wanted to talk about that, it's actually, if you pay really close attention, you actually see like hidden. I mean, it is pretty obvious in some shots, but like there's some hidden like points where characters will actually intersect at each other. The camera won't, like, it's not obviously pointed out, but like for example, the sophomore girl who's dating the senior, like when she finishes her track practice and gets in the car, is listening to like heavy rock music, and I think it's like at one point they like pass by, yeah, they pass by like the the two girls who are in the dance class. That's pretty obvious. And then another really cool subtle one was when um they're like, it's from the party, and the like one of the dancing girls wants to like go with the lifeguard to like a swimming party, and they're listening to rock music too, and you see they pass by in the background a character, and it's like
Oh yeah.
really subtle, and it's like a quick second, but I was just like, oh,
Oh
that's
yeah, yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
They did that in the supermarket as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When he's like following that girl, the
The
Jamie
Zoe
Lee
101
Spears
lookalike
girl,
chick,
yeah,
yeah.
Zoe 101. He goes and smells the shampoo that she was looking at or that she bought, and then you see the dance girls walk in the background. I thought that was
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
fact they don't acknowledge each other really gives life to the world they're living in. I feel like
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
It
Yeah.
because
reminds me.
it's like that. It I feel that replicates that point in your life, because, or at least for me, because I remember when I was making friends in middle school and high school, I I would hardly ever see them outside the school. So whenever I see them in public, uh, I mean, at one point I got excited and like I was like, oh, I know her, or I know him.
Yeah,
I've seen him around. But then but then over the years, I get used to it. Like, these are people. They live in the same they say the same world I live in.
yeah,
So
Right.
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, we all go to the same places. We don't have to acknowledge each other all the time. These characters don't even know each other a lot of the time.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it if that makes any sense, it replicates that feeling that this is an interconnected community.
mhm,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really what drives the realism for this movie. And
Yeah.
again, overall, from these two movies, and I'll bring this up again like when we talk about Totally Fucked Up, but I think this is what these two movies really convey, and I think this movie conveys it a little bit more better than Totally Fucked Up, is that um teenage years, especially like during high school, you're really unsure of, who you are and how to fit in. And I mean,
yeah.
although this movie doesn't accurately on point portray that, I think it really does a good job at showing that.
Yes.
It's much
Absolutely.
more solid than I think it has a right of really being.
Yeah, the more I talk about it, the more I kind of dig it, because
Yeah.
like I said at the time, I was poking fun at the teen drama and the overall situations everyone was finding themselves in, because that's what you do with
Yeah.
teen dramas. You like to pick at them, and it's fun. But no, this has got a bit more going for it when you dive in.
Yeah, I think it's just unfortunate though that since it is trying to capture a bit more of a quote unquote realistic approach or a bit more
Mhm.
nuanced, it
Yeah.
does do a little bit too much. I mean, this is just personal taste, but it meanders a lot, and it's just a lot of characters kind of
Yeah.
roaming, which does kind of play into themes of like
It
discovery
really
and
does
whatnot.
over dramatize a little bit some of the like gossip that happens in the movie, to a point where you're just like, yeah, okay. And then also it's like, to a point, there's like some sequences that happens where you really do again question the realism. Like for example, um when one of the characters goes to the bathroom and the girl is like taking a bath,
Oh yeah,
and she says, you can sit down if you'd like. And that's like realistic. I mean, come on, realistically, you'd be like, what are you doing? Get out.
That was the
Just
weirdest.
leave me alone. There's
part.
a weird prepubescent boy at the door looking at me taking a bath.
FBI.
I'd be
God.
creeped out.
Why? Why is this? Why was that a thing?
I feel my overall. I'm not a big fan of these types of movies.
Mhm.
Mm,
I was telling Victor and Nate earlier that I'm not a big fan of movies that are just there's no real there's no real problem that they have to face other than being a teenager, which is relatable, really relatable, because every single person who is over the age of 18 has been a teenager at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we've
Yeah.
all experienced these weird moments and these weird times and these awkward feelings of, you know, why am I feeling like this? Why do I want to do this? Why am I saying this to my friends? Or why do I want to have sex all the time? You know, it's like it's it I'm fine with that aspect of it, but I wanted a little more something else. A film that
Mhm.
I think really, really does a good job at showing the change of, you know, because this is kind of the subtle change from child to teenager, I feel, or
Yeah.
preteen to teenager. Something that does that also well with with change from teen to like kind of young adult. It's a movie called Kings of Summer.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
like that
yeah.
one.
It's amazing. I don't remember who it's directed by, but it has
Jordan Vogt Roberts.
okay, perfect. And then it has who's in it? Who's in it?
Nick Simon. He was in fucking. What was that? He's in that Love Simon movie, but he's in something else better.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World. That's right. Nick
Yeah,
Robertson.
he plays the
never mind.
older brother to
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Nick Robertson and also Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman. Yep.
Oh, I was getting that seriously mixed up with that Josh Peck film where there's that scene where he's just like roasting all those kids on the boat.
Oh yeah.
Mean Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mean
okay,
Creek.
different film.
Oh, we should watch
Um,
that one. We should
but,
watch that one for the show.
Anyway,
But linking that back to American Sleepover, it's that feels more real in the way of someone actually it feels more real in a cinema standpoint. Granted, this feels more real, like real, and I can see why people are gravitating towards that or want to.
A little too real. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it comes off.
you know,
Yeah. Sorry.
we don't need the we don't need these little the I don't know. Some of the stuff, like obviously these are young actors, but
Yeah.
the performances were really rough and hard to watch. Every single performance was not
And-
good.
Yeah,
And
I was gonna say the acting is
Just
Yeah.
not
really
good.
interchangeable.
I
Everybody.
have a feeling that the director was specifically looking for non-actors to
Yeah.
try to, because being a non-actor, you're also now have this awkwardness of, oh, I'm acting, which can also be awkward in your performance, which it definitely is. And so
Yeah.
I think it benefits from it, from his overarching like scheme. And I mean, maybe not scheme, that comes off negative, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
what he's trying to direct, it works, but watching it, and it's just
It can be a little cringy.
I was having
I
it
think
was very, I was having a
I
hard
think
time.
the problem also too is like you said, these non-actors who are going into, acting these scenes out.
Yeah,
Not only do they have to deal with the fact of not acting, but they also have to deal with the fact that they're overwhelmed of, am I doing this right? Am I,
yeah,
approaching this scene right? I mean, I don't know if all actors on this movie specifically were thinking about this, but I think definitely that would have been a thought that was crossing their mind. And then, yeah, so I can definitely see that.
yeah.
Yeah. I will say, peak worst performance is probably the kid in the plaid shorts and the red sweatshirt. I don't know.
He was a
Whenever it cut
little
back,
one note.
he was boring as hell. He gets egged at one point and he hardly reacts.
Yeah.
He's
I-
definitely. I think he's.
He
pretty
looked dead
similar.
inside.
He really did.
pretty similar to the Scott character. It seems like where they're both wandering,
Scott.
and Scott, the one who was chasing the twins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
he was better. I think he
well,
was
no, but they're
the
both
best.
kind of following the same path where you know, they're both searching for girls essentially. That's their kind
Mhm.
of their goal. Um, and so they're both on this mission, and yeah, they're honestly both kind of. Scott had the most like I feel like complex character in a sense,
Yeah.
but God was he just like it's just kind of cringy.
Boring. Really,
A
Not
bit.
very
A
active,
lot.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a little hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah. Then
He
there's Maggie. She's one with all the piercings and dances. She's just a troublemaker. I couldn't get a beat on her character. She's into the cigarette guy, and she's not into the cigarette guy. She's going after the lifeguard. She's dancing for people, jumping in water. I don't
There
know.
yeah,
I'm
was some points in the movie where I thought Maggie was a little bit too much. Like there
yeah.
is some scenes where it's like you get like
She's a bit
3 or 4
extra.
second shot at her face, and I don't know. I feel like she's squeezing as many subtle, sensual, sexual,
movies.
happy
Yeah.
all
What's the hang
into
up?
like that 4 seconds, and you're just like, my mind can't compute what I can't read her face.
Totally
What's
understand.
happening?
She reminds me of that one chick in Twin Peaks who causes all the mischief. And I just
Oh,
wanted to, I,
Audrey. I totally
yeah,
saw that too.
and
Yeah.
I just wanted to punch her.
Oh
Just
God.
stop. Okay,
jeez.
okay,
I don't
not
know if
punch
that's the
her.
right thing to do, but
Okay, not punch her. Just
Uh,
stop. I just want to make her stop. Just stop being this extra.
Yeah.
well, that I mean, I think it's
Do
just
we need
due
a
to
disclaimer now? I don't want to beat women.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know how to feel.
Oh,
I
great.
think it just is due to just amateurish acting. I think it's just
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
well, I
That's
didn't
the
think it was
best way to.
awful. She did try. She definitely was doing acting TM.
Yes.
Acting TM.
Yes. Yes.
What's
Acting
Trade
TM. Acting
trademark?
trademarked. Yeah.
Oh, side
Yeah.
note, did you guys recognize that bathtub chick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I swear she looked familiar.
Yeah, it's
Ooh, hang on. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. I'm looking it up.
It's
I'm looking it
Margot
up.
Robbie.
you gotta guess. You have to
Margot
guess
Robbie. Bullshit.
that.
Bullshit.
That's
There's
not
no
her.
way.
That's not her.
The myth. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be such a fun little bit on the her name was Maggie.
No,
I don't even know her.
No,
the
it should
bathtub chick,
go.
Julie
I wouldn't
Higgins.
be surprised if it's under bathtub chick.
No, it's Julie Higgins. That's the character name.
Oh, well, that's really anticlimactic. I don't know who the fuck this is.
Oh wow.
She
Wait.
plays Eleven's aunt on Stranger Things.
Does she?
Fuck watches
She's
Stranger.
Alien Covenant,
Yeah.
too.
She's in Alien Covenant. You're next.
Oh, that's where she's from.
Upstream Color, Pet Cemetery remake.
Oh,
She
What?
gets around. She's a character actor.
She's good.
This is.
dude.
I mean, yeah, she was the best character
was
in the
The best.
the
Actor.
best performance, like
Yeah.
for sure. But
In
yeah,
the
I have. That was really anticlimactic because I really don't know who the fuck that is.
yeah.
In the
She was-
5 minutes total she had of screen time, she wasn't bad.
Right.
Yeah, it's like because like the moment she came on screen, I was just like, I recognize her. No,
Yeah.
no, no,
Fuck is
I
this
really
girl?
do. No, it's
I know.
yeah, and then it just stuck. It was stuck in the back of my head for like
Don't you
the
hate
entire
that?
time I was watching the movie.
Don't you just hate that you recognize an actor but you can't remember the name or place the face?
Yeah,
It sucks.
it's the most frustrating like feeling watching a movie.
Tell me about it. I scream audibly in those moments. It's like,
Jeez.
who are you?
It's just every movie that we go to, he's like, "Who is that? Who is this? Who's
Gets
that?
up in the movie auditorium and points at the screen and says, "Who are you?"
Gets up really close to the screen.
Who's that woman on the screen? Does anyone have IMDb at the moment?"
I sit in the front row. It's like Mystery Science Theater.
Also,
No.
side note, I do think that we should do a Mystery Science Theater, like
I want to do that. I really
like
want to do.
a style type where we kind of, maybe we do it like to like Princess Bride or something like that. That would be
No,
really
no,
fun.
no, 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 no. We got to do shit. It has to be shit.
Like shitty movies.
Shitty movies. It can't be a good movie.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. That
I
sounds
got.
great.
I got to hook up. I'll get you guys in on this action.
I don't know. I personally aren't. I'm not a huge fan on commentary on films, but
But you like watching shitty movies, clearly.
yeah.
Ooh, whoa,
Ooh,
whoa.
ooh.
But
Why-
I don't like when people
No,
talk.
ladies and gentlemen, shots have been fired.
gentlemen,
Round 1, fight.
You got me. You got me, Nick.
I got you. I
Um,
got you good. So, anyways, back to American Sleepover.
yeah, I don't know. This is just a pretty slight film. There's.
Yeah,
What do you guys think about the
it's-
whole twins angle with the mosquito like Mothra?
Oh
thing?
my. Okay. Oh,
I really like that.
loved.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the Mothra. I don't know. I debate this. It's not a parody. It's kind of an obscure reference, or it's a very obscure way of referencing something. But that did make me happy seeing a Mothra mock-up, a
It's
DIY Mothra movie.
Definitely a cinema head reference.
I'm,
Cinema
I'm,
heads
I,
only.
I,
I mean-
I must have missed it because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay,
when-
there's some kids
yeah.
watching a monster movie at one point
Yeah.
in this film,
Uh-huh.
and it's clearly supposed to be Mothra because it's a giant moth with crude special effects, and there's
Mhm.
these two tiny twin girls. They're supposed to be
Scott's watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
they're supposed to be the fairies or whatever, the fairies that pray to Mothra, and they're just people photographed to look small compared to other actors. They use special
And they're
effects for that.
twins. Yeah.
And they're twins, yeah. And
Oh.
there's all these Japanese people in business suits and really nice attire. They're on an
Mm.
island, and it's dubbed in English like a classic Godzilla movie. So yeah, that was a lot of fun to see.
Mhm.
And also, they do I think a Halloween shout out too. The kids' horror movie they're watching. Not even Halloween, but probably Halloween.
I don't
You know
know.
what?
I was getting more of a because I don't know if it was an actual film or not that the kids were watching, but it was just like it felt like when I was watching it, I don't know, I was getting flashbacks to the first Scary Movie because they do a parody of Scream at one point, and
Yeah.
I was just yeah.
No, but honestly, them rewinding to see the girl's topless scene, kind of relatable. Not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
lie.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
No,
Let's dive
No.
into that, Nick.
No, let's
Let's
not.
dive into
Let's
booby
not.
reminiscing.
I rather
Um,
not.
All
I
right.
mean, I'm down to talk ratings if you guys are down to talk ratings.
Yeah,
Are we good?
Yeah, I feel confident.
Nathan, this is your first discussion. Are you
Yeah.
good?
Do you want to add something?
You want to add more?
Wait, what? What's going on?
Oh well, we're thinking about getting into the ratings, but if you got more to add, let's keep talking.
Are like rating the movie or?
Yes,
Yeah,
ratings.
Yeah,
This is the
closing
part.
thoughts.
This is the part where we kind of closing dialogue and rate the film. So,
Oh,
but if you want to,
okay.
add
Yeah.
more,
Maybe if yeah, you guys can lead and then I'll go last.
well, I got one. I got a final thought. The opening scene at the swimming pool really made me depressed because I miss swimming so much in all
Yeah.
this
Same.
shit.
It's
I wanna
like
go
one of the
swimming again.
things that you miss like as you grow older. Like this is super weird, but like I just have flashbacks to when I was like still in elementary school and I play tag, and there will be instances where I'm just hanging out with my grown up friends and I just say, "Guys, we should really play tag," and everyone just looks at me cross-eyed like,
Yeah,
You're so weird. Why are you so weird?" And I'm just like,
yeah.
I just want to play tag, guys. I mean, come on.
Tell me about it. It's that, but it's also just simply, I wish I could go out and do public activities again instead of barricading myself in my house so I don't get a really bad illness. It's swimming is so freeing, man. I live what 20-minute walk from a lake, public swimming lake. I every summer I would just go and take a dip when things got too hot. But now I
You're
can't
talking about
do that.
Martha?
Martha Lake, that's right.
Bro, Martha Lake is the shit.
It really.
It
Thank
is dirty.
you.
It is dirty AF though. It really
Yes,
is gross.
yes, but
Yeah.
But
the water.
but
You
the
jump
water
in it.
is really warm
It
actually.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But
The
you
fact
jump
that
in
I
it.
prefer a public pool over Martha Lake really says something.
Oh, I'm sure there are other worse places to
No.
swim. But yeah, I wish I could go swimming.
Maybe Green Lake. maybe.
Maybe. All that goose shit.
I don't know.
All that goose
Green
shit.
Lake's pretty sketchy enough as it is with you know, homeless people and stuff like that.
Yeah, Green Lake's not too bad. They have if you're yeah, I mean you don't want to go there at like night and like fuck around and you know,
No.
Yeah.
but
Of course
it's
not.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I like it.
Uh-huh.
But I like Martha Lake too, but
Yeah.
enough lake talk. Hey,
Back to the sleep.
Hey,
Closing
segue.
thoughts?
Haha.
into
Closing-
ratings.
Let's get to ratings.
Who
You
wants to
guys,
go
did you guys like my Keemstar reference?
What's Keemstar?
Let's get right into the news.
Oh.
Dude,
I've
Keemstar is a
heard of that.
piece of garbage that's on the internet.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get right into the
He's-
shit.
He's a peepee head.
Yeah,
Okay.
very
All right,
much
who's
so.
going first?
Nick, I think you're going first.
Okay, all right, let's go first. I'll give this a 3. I think we'll give it a 3 stars. It is a refreshingly restrained bit of teen drama. It examines some neat ideas and very relatable, and is very relatable if you've ever been a teenager. It looks nice, and otherwise though it's amateur. It has amateur acting and kind of a frivolous plot line. There is no plot to speak of. It's just the characters sorting out some issues. But if you want to get sucked in, if you want to just kind of zone out to a movie for a bit, this one's a contender. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I might not watch it again, but who knows?
Yeah. 3.
3.
Solid.
Beautiful. Solid.
Solid.
You said something about getting sucked off, right?
Oh no.
Which
Oh, no.
segues perfectly
Segue.
into.
Chase, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll give it a 3 as well. I didn't enjoy it like at all. I was I'm giving it a 3 because I can understand what it's wanting to do and it's doing it very well. It's just not for me. It's just not my type of movie. I'll rate it a 3 stars, but do I enjoy it? Will I watch it again? No. I'm not a fan of these type of movies. They really are. I want some sort of plot at least, other than just childhood or teenage awkwardness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you watch The Terminator again instead of this?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, okay. There is hope.
I'd give it 3 just because you can see the work of like a great director coming through. Like you can see him coming into his own and building into someone that would actually go on to make, great movies. I'm a huge fan of Under the Silver Lake. A lot. I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'd give it a 3. Just with this, performances weren't strong for me. It's very average. I would give it like a 50%. Maybe higher, maybe like a 55%, 60%. So
the acting of the movie.
Everything. The movie I would give a 60. So I've that's about 3 stars. So
roughly, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna also go with a 3. Yeah. I appreciate the simplicity. I'm kind of a sucker for cliche stuff like this because it definitely it's almost, I wouldn't even say it's necessarily realistic because it just comes off very cliche, but I think a lot of things in life, like finding yourself talking to someone you have a crush on and being scared to do certain things. It's all happens to everyone, so it does have
Yeah.
cliche in
Yeah.
more of a realistic sense, more than like a filmmaking sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like the atmosphere. I think it perfectly captures some warm summer nights.
Hmm.
Uh, and I like seeing this post high school angle with Scott, the high school angle with the teens, and just kind of all them dealing with their emotions. And I don't know. It meanders and nothing really happens. It's pretty aimless, but I appreciate what it's trying to do. Um,
Yeah.
Also, that one scene, it's towards the end. It's before the parade, and it's the morning, like the sun's rising, and you're seeing all these houses, and there's something about that little montage that really hit me right in the gut.
Hmm.
Mm.
Houses, and I also like too where it ends at the parade. I think that was a really nice wrap up.
Yeah, it kind of Pulp Fictioned everything together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It was almost
Yeah.
a
Yeah, all the
celebration,
characters together at once, and not
Yeah.
a single one of them knows what
a
happened.
Yeah.
celebration of discovery.
Yeah, it's like a celebration of, you know, this because the movie takes place over one night, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a celebration of so much shit happened in this one night. Like, I mean, kind of. It's hard to say, but these
yeah,
teenagers experience so much different type of things, and then they all kind of came back and, you know, I think you said his name was Paul. Is that the guy's name?
hmm
The essentially the main guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
um, Paul kind of hits it off with this girl that was kind of in the background the whole time, and then he like looks at her during the parade, and they kind of share this like this like teenage young like first like real crush type vibe, and that I think was the most compelling, honestly the most compelling shot in the entire movie is
Absolutely.
and I think I don't know who's in between. Is that like his sister or something?
Uh, Probably an adult figure or chaperone. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, but it was like a teenager as well.
You're right. You're
Um,
right.
but whoever it was, it's there's this other friend that's there that is kind of sensing something going on, but these two people they don't care. They're just vibing with each other. You know what I mean?
And
So
see
it's
this.
like,
Yeah.
I appreciated that a lot. And I think that's actually like the very last shot of the movie.
I think it is, and that's something I'm now coming to realization. What something I really like about this film is that there is a sense of genuine hope and empathy
Mhm.
towards these characters. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
sure, they haven't all succeeded in what they want, or maybe they did in a way they didn't expect, but there's a sense of like, you know what, it's gonna work out. Like, just stick with it and be yourself. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate that sincerity that gets thrown in, or not thrown in, but that's woven throughout. I think that's important. I like that a lot, and it's very different from the next film. But that's my
Yeah.
wrap up of the film.
Yeah.
Cool,
Speaking
man.
of wrap up, oh wait, Nate.
Nate.
Speaking
Oh
of
Nate,
yeah.
wrap up, let's wrap this up and head over to Nate to see what he gives this movie.
Smooth,
Oh
man.
my gosh. I think I'd actually give this like I mean really for me um again I don't buy into too much of cliche type movies.
Hmm.
Um really don't see any merit or value in them, which I know it seems really harsh, but I think at the end of the day, we all need a little hope,
Yeah.
especially in times like now. And
Yeah.
yeah, and again, like I mentioned previously before, there are some things that I don't take too realistically seriously, like Paul spotting the sister in the bathroom. That's pretty unrealistic and
Ugh.
stuff like that. But also like when he eventually does find the Zoe 101 girl that he's been chasing the whole movie, um I hate to put that. I should probably look for her name, but anyways,
What's her character's name?
when he does find her, um, I think it's when they're exploring the tunnels with like the three girls, him and his friend too,
Oh yeah, the
and
freaking makeout tunnels where people go to make
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Sounds dope.
I noticed. I noticed when in that scene, when he like does sit with her, he sees her arm is like covered with other people who've like written down their number for her to
Phone
call.
numbers, yeah.
And and I think there have been instances like for like all of us who were at one point teenagers where I mean, especially for guys, where it's just like if you do find that dream girl, or when you do come across your dream girl, you find a flaw that doesn't seem like a big deal at first, but when you look back at the moment when or when it inevitably didn't work out and she what turned into the one that did get away,
Yeah.
you look back and reflect and realize how that little inconsistency could have affected your possible relationship big time, or
Mm,
it would have affected who you are today.
yeah.
I know that's
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of a stretch, but
No,
I
I
think
think
it's
I
it's
could dig that. I
yeah.
could dig it.
it's really interesting to think about, and the fact that they include that in an indie movie like this is really cool, and you really appreciate that. And coming back to Victor and what he was talking about, some of the shots, especially the final shot, like that morning shot, um, some of the shots too, I felt, especially, mentioning that like even though this movie took place in 2010, it looks like it like aesthetically, filming wise, it looked like it was filmed in like 2002 or 2003,
Mhm.
and it also feels like a sense of I don't want to say nostalgia, but it's like a sense of like it really does capture, I don't know, the sense of environment of what it was like, what that specific snippet in time was like that
Yes.
one night.
It is a strange feeling. Feels like a Mac DeMarco song. Gives you memories you never thought you could have, but you
Yeah.
feel the effect it has on you.
That's the thing that I
Yeah.
really
I
love
was
about.
gonna say Tame Impala song, but
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's one reason I do love that scene because there is a sense of melancholy as well because they talk about throughout the film. It's the title of the film, the myth of the American sleepover, and the myth of being a teenager. Like it's going to be great, it's
yeah.
gonna be an adventure, but like you're going to really, really miss these days.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
like
Fer-
that. Yeah,
Ferris Bueller said it best. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you're gonna miss it.
so
Hmm.
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I really, I don't know, that's what I could kind of take away from it. I mean, what is really pulling me back from giving this 5 stars is just some scenes that are
Oh,
just
what
too
is your rating?
unrealistic.
Hold on.
Um, it's a 3.5. But what's really
Okay.
pulling me back from giving this like a full-on 5 is like the fact that like there's some stuff. Again, I don't like these kinds of movies. Again, it's a little bit too much. There's so much cliche. There's some movies that you watch, and this counts as for me as an exception. It's just like there's so much cliche happening in the movie to the point where you're just like, I just don't buy this,
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Is a
I
parody.
I I really do take that for this. It's no exception. And also, again, scenes were pretty unrealistic, and it's just, yeah. But overall, it was it was a decent movie, and I'd give it
Mhm.
3.5.
Yeah.
3.5 stars.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I guess this was cliche, technically, but I guess I was in the mood for cliche. I'm going through kind of a phase right now. I'm really digging into drama more, like drama filmmaking more, and I don't know. As a storyteller, as a writer, I'm trying to explore new areas, and I'm feeling like a drama kick a little bit. I want to write more dramas, stuff
Yeah.
like this. Very kind of mundane situations. These with interconnected character stories and sort of.
Yeah.
So
That's
this one satisfied my my high at the moment. So
Nice.
I was in retrospect I was happy I watched this movie
Good. Good.
for
yeah.
as
I'm glad you
much
guys.
for as much shit I gave it.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys found something to like out of it because I didn't know when I finished it whether or not you guys would like it or whatnot. And I don't know. I'm glad I'm surprised. I'm just happy you guys liked it because I thought it was a decent surprise.
That's good.
Decent
That's
surprise.
good, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Victor. When you recommend movies like this, I'm kind of thinking, oh boy, there goes Victor again. And
There goes Victor.
but no, you're doing good at
Fight.
no, I'm gonna bring it back. You do a good job of broadening my horizons, kind of opening my
Well,
eyes a little.
thank you. That's just that's my mission, you know.
Good, good.
Yeah.
All right,
But
we need someone to segue.
I was fucking trying. I really wanted to do. You were like, "Well, I'm going through this phase," and I was like, "You know what's not a phase? Being fucking gay."
Oh my god.
well, hang on. We can nail something here. We can nail down a segue.
Yeah. Vic, you can edit
Speaking
this,
of
yeah?
Nail. Speaking
Yeah.
of nailing,
nailing.
let's segue into unsafe sex with totally fucked up. Yeah.
Nick,
Beautiful.
run us down.
Yeah.
That was
That
good.
sounds
Okay.
perfect.
The title is
Amazing.
literally totally fucked up, so
That's not a joke. Our next movie is called, quite literally, Totally Fucked Up.
could have worked a little bit on the title, but
Could have.
Technically,
Big
it's
disagree.
totally F asterisk 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 asterisk.
Oh my god.
That's true.
Yeah. Technically.
So Nick, hit us with this. Go down on the synopsis.
Totally Fucked Up revolves around a group of homosexual friends as they try to navigate their kind of downtrodden lives in Los Angeles, avoiding poverty, cheating lovers, and gay bashers. They're just kind of trying to eke a living with this existence they find themselves in.
And when does this take place?
1993.
Oof.
Yeah.
Terminator
Well, actually,
2 Judgment Day.
yeah. Okay, you know what? Yeah. So this must have been filmed in '91 because they're standing right outside a movie theater that's showing T2.
Yeah.
Must have been on the shelf for a couple of years.
Yeah,
Or,
I was like looking at it and I was just like, I mean, they must have like filmed it in 91, I guess, and then shelved, like the director must have kept it like in
or hey,
editing for a while, or
yeah. Or hey, it's an independent movie made well before video on demand or streaming came out. So it was a lot harder to sell movies if you weren't backed by a major
yeah.
studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So have you guys seen anything else by this director? I think
I never even heard of this director in my life.
I have not. I've heard of Doom Nation.
Doom Generation.
Doom Generation. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never seen it though.
Okay, so highly recommend Doom Generation. It's like similar aesthetic, but much more fantastical and a little bit more out there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Mysterious Skin is really graphic in its thematic material, but it's pretty phenomenal. I recommend that one. Um, I don't know. This is visually my shit 100%. This is what I dream. This is what I dream of making. What I love about this film. Sorry, I'm going to kind of go off. I
Go for it. Go for it.
No, go off. Go
Go
off, dude.
on.
I think that what Greg has done here is pretty awesome. He mixes uh almost avant-garde
Mhm.
techniques, very similar to like Godard. And that's very like evident in those first 20 minutes or so where it kind of takes this sort of non-linear approach. Um, and the way that has this very gritty, unpolished aesthetic mixed in with this uh, community of people who are, outcast. They're lost. They're feeling hopeless. They just want to be happy like everyone else, and they're being shoved to the wayside. I think that the visual style of this is perfect.
Yeah,
This
definitely.
this is
Uh-huh.
better. This is better than what anything Hollywood could put out because it feels so raw and it feels genuine, even if it has these
Yeah.
sort of corny, campy elements, which the other film like Doom Nation is very campy. I think it works very well in my opinion. It's
Yeah,
it's
and
it's
I
a
feel
strange thing.
yeah, and I
I
feel
I
like also campiness for some movies, it especially for this one, I felt like campiness is kind of the only way that the message gets delivered because
Hmm.
it's interesting too because like I feel like the 90s for most teens was just a very or just in general for everyone, the 90s was just a really weird period. You know, the 80s was such a great time and then and I feel like is none more spoken for than for teens, especially during this time, because, they had, no idea what to do and, like, always, berating, like, you know, also looking at, other problems in the world and focusing
mhm.
more on problems than solutions. And it's just like, well, if teens felt that bad, then just imagine how gay teens felt, especially during this time,
Yeah.
especially like, you know, the different characters pointing out like, that they feel like the like society and government is oppressed towards gay people and
Right.
it's it feels like
Mhm.
almost like they don't have a voice to an extent and that they can't even breathe or speak and um I think that as comparison to American Sleepover is what makes this movie a lot more intense.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thing with
yeah.
like Sleepover, it definitely takes a more it's a look into a more privileged lifestyle, and it's
Yeah.
cool to kind of watch these back to back because you're seeing like the suburbia side of things where your main concern is, well, am I going to find a girl, am I going to like you know granted there's much more than that, but uh here the stakes are much more intense, like you said. And I feel like Greg, since he is a queer person, really is he's taken a very sincere approach to this, and it's so evident in like those like video taped interviews that they intertwine throughout the film where they're kind of discussing sex, government, love, and sort of like seeing each viewpoint from these characters. I think the way he's representing the oppressed and the people without much of a voice during this time is it's really feels very genuine, and I think it helps so much
Yeah.
to have someone
I
yeah.
I will say, I would not describe this movie as campy. Campy is what you reserve for something like a cheesy monster movie.
Well,
Uh,
it's
I don't know. This is more this to me. This is indie. This is a very indie movie. This feels like a movie that was made outside of studio systems and by people that just wanted to make the movie they wanted to make. So there is that feeling going around as you watch the movie, and it reflects in the visuals. All these experimental camera angles and the concepts they touch upon are not unlike anything at the time. And it is interesting, and like I said, it is interesting to see this different viewpoints. These people don't have it as easy as everyone else, or even as easy as the kids from Sleepover.
mhm.
They
Yeah.
have a lot more going on, and that does make it for a bit more of an interesting watch. But having said that, I was kind of numb throughout watching this movie.
How do you mean?
I don't know. Just well, indie movies. It takes a little bit for me to get into because I see a lot of the same patterns going around. Because they're low budget movies, they don't have a lot to work with. So they have to get a lot more creative, and sometimes creativity leads to artsiness, and artsiness can kind of turn me off a little bit. It's like they're trying, but here it's justified. But just in general, like indie movies require a bit more for me to get into, and I just kind of learned to accept what was putting out. I
Well,
mean, I'm not saying that as a bad thing.
I think you should distinguish indie films from like character studies because I think so many of your favorite films are indie films. I mean, Monsters is
Okay,
an
yeah.
indie film.
Okay, character studies then. Yeah, this well, even then I like cool character studies like Taxi Driver or even Dread. Dread is
Well,
a character study.
Well, I wouldn't consider. I mean, Taxi Driver is a character study, but it's on a larger scale than something like
Okay, sure.
significantly larger.
Okay.
the
Which,
thing with this
but
too, it makes, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, but yeah, yeah, I liked, but just sort of kind of, I don't know, this I liked this movie, but it wasn't quite my brand,
Hmm.
I would say.
understood. Yeah,
But the I will say it does have something going for it as far as the viewpoint. And it's not afraid to go where even other movies that have attempted this viewpoint are afraid to go. Because
Yeah.
but the big thing is there's a lot of explicit love scenes in this movie between same-sex couples, and um I don't know, like some I've never been exposed to that kind of thing a whole lot, at least in arts and media. Uh, so yeah, it was kind of like a thing to accept. And don't take me the wrong way. I hope you guys aren't taking me the wrong way.
no,
Mhm.
So yeah, but yeah, it's just like you don't see a lot of gay love scenes in movies, or at least
no,
male
Yeah.
gay love
no,
scenes. So
not at all.
so to
Like
see
barely
this
at all.
so to see this high of a quantity of them, and how the movie examines these
You're not
relationships,
used to it, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but once you get into it, it's very interesting. It's very interesting viewing.
Yeah, once you get into it, yeah.
Yeah, it's segue
You know?
into our next.
Once you're getting into it, um, I I have the same feeling with this movie as I did with American Sleepover. It's not my type of film. I love the fact that it's a film of it's a film that's not trying to be about representation, but
Right.
instead it's it feels like a filmmaker who is making a film about his everyday life, and he just um happens to be a gay man. Like it,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
I really felt that watching this movie. I
Yeah,
really felt like it was not more of a a movie that was trying to deliver a message
Yeah.
yeah.
on the gay
That's
community or anything like that. It was
Mhm.
more of a like one take of this filmmaker.
And
Exactly.
yeah.
that's
That's
why too. It
that's
doesn't. Sorry. Wait.
no. I was just gonna say that's exactly how I. That's another exact reason I feel this movie isn't pushing an agenda, and that's really refreshing. Even with the best gay and lesbian cinema out there, there is a hint of they are pushing this agenda. They're getting more diversity out in the Hollywood scene, or just in the cinema scene, and so forth. And that kind of distracts from the storytelling aspect in a way. But
I
here,
Well. Well.
I would disagree with that.
Yeah.
Just in the not I understand what you're saying, but I think you're
yeah,
saying it in the wrong way. Um,
okay,
when you
correct
say
me.
push an agenda, it comes off very negative, and I know you don't mean it in a negative way.
Yeah,
You mean it in
correct me. I made it sound bad.
you mean it in a way that's like, it doesn't feel like this movie is, as us as onlookers into this community,
Uh-huh.
we uh at least I don't know about the community. I don't know about this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know of the community, and I know, I have tons of friends in the community, so I'm able to be experienced that way. But I will
Mhm.
never be able to live this experience,
Yeah,
and I
This
think,
life.
Right.
definitely.
I think in the aspect of representation and pushing an agenda as using that as an example, I think for us to say that it's pushing an agenda is taking away from what the film is actually doing.
Because that's the thing.
And
Yeah.
It's not necessarily
Yeah.
you
Forget what I
pushing
said
an
earlier. I
agenda.
meant
no,
to
no, 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 no,
phrase that.
Nick. I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm just trying to clear it up so that
Please clear it up.
yeah, you know what I mean. I know what you're meaning. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to clean it a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
scrubbing it.
Clean
With
it.
too
I'm not good at speaking my mind, really. Or I think I'm too good at speaking my mind.
Yeah, you're all good, dude. What were you gonna say,
Yeah.
Vic?
Well, I'm just yeah, less of an agenda, but more of like showing the bigotry and hate that is, especially in the government, that
Yeah, absolutely.
is making
Hmm.
their lives so much more difficult than it should be, than it has.
Especially
Like,
especially during this time as well.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it shows like them
Going off
using,
what
yeah.
going off what Victor says, like it's almost like, especially during this time too, where um again, people still knew very little to nothing about the gay community, and like painting like, oh, the only way you could get HIV/AIDS is if you're gay. So immediately you're classified, if you're gay, as a
Oh,
bad
exactly.
person,
Well.
as the scum of society, and then as well as this entire, like, the movie taking place in Hollywood itself, and one of the characters doesn't, like, word for word say this, but like he says, like, this the setting of where, coupled with the fact of, that, oh, I was grown up believing in the fairy tale that I will fall in love with a girl and I will find the right one and
Mhm.
everything will be hunky dory.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, also, it's not just the director or filmmaker showing, you know that, but I'm assuming he is trying to show that, there are imperfections just in our society, or in the
Yeah.
society, that is hitting him in the face as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going back to the HIV bit, that is kind of interesting considering the time period this came out, because there's a famous book that was written called "And the Band Played On." It was dealing with the gay community's reaction to the AIDS crisis. Basically, they were told not to uh commence coitus with each other for fear that this virus will just keep spreading. That and they took that as a sign. They took that as oppression when really it was medically advised that they stop for a bit because the virus was running rampant among the community, and they would just rebel and do it anyway, and it got out of hand. That's my rough recollection of how that went down from what sources have told me. But yeah, it's interesting how that kind of you could kind of see the mindsets of the time in that little scene there, if that makes sense. Like the
Well,
characters are voicing sort of the voice of the time in a way.
yeah, because you think of
Mm.
like, okay, you're being oppressed for, how many years, and you're told that your lifestyle is a sin and it's wrong, and the only way to cure yourself is to be put into a grave. And so
Mhm.
to want to listen to the people who say these things, yeah, the rebelling seems like the right thing to do. Um, and I like how um, this doesn't take a very glamorous or even like sanitized approach. It's like
No.
they're angry, they are
Yeah.
feeling uh, angsty, and it's just, why should they act any other way? This is
It's almost like a
completely,
stain that's not gonna go away.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, and also that's another thing I appreciate about this movie is kind of dispelling the gay myth. Like there's the one interview clip. This movie's told through interview clips via video camera, and there's just one clip of the guy basically saying that gay people are expected to listen to Bette Midler and flaunt around in bright colors or something like that. And really, the movie just shows like they live like normal people. They get into
mhm.
relationships. They get fucked over in relationships. They're dealing with daily struggles. They're looking for purpose. They're just like anyone else. So I appreciate that element to the narrative there.
Yeah, and it's still showing like the the um the difference in lifestyles in that scene, as opposed to like normal suburban straight scene, and while, but not like it's breaking down stereotypes, but also like showing these people as what they are, and just not simplifying it. I think that's, I really appreciate that.
Yes.
I think that's very
Yeah.
good, very good.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, the acting, it's better. It was better than Sleepover, but me personally, I'm still not big on the whole mumble thing. It's mumblecore they call it, and I don't know, just everyone's just kind of hanging their head and just barely putting in enough volume to hear the lines.
Well, I think it's also just due to cheap audio equipment, because yeah,
That
it
Yeah.
that too,
I was
but
about to
but yeah,
say, like, I think the technology that was available at the time was also not very much in the favor of
maybe
this filmmaker's vision.
yeah,
yeah,
maybe for independent filmmakers. I mean, there were
right,
some good sounding movies in the early '90s, but I will say, yeah, part of it's the audio quality, but also, yeah, it's just mumblecore. Mumblecore is a thing. It's a whole genre of making, and so
yeah.
I'm not entirely big on the acting styles.
Gotta
I wouldn't
find
even
those
call that
subtitles.
mumblecore, but
Yeah, but I will say, James Duval, he plays Andy
I love his
Eraserhead.
character.
I like his character too, and it floored me when I recognized who he was. He was in Independence Day. He
That
didn't
was
have a big part in Independence Day, but he was in it. I always remember that face. He's like younger Keanu Reeves, if that's even possible.
Yeah.
Discount Keanu
yeah, I can
Reeves.
see
But yeah, he's actually really good in this movie. I think he has the most complex character. I
that. Oh yeah,
was in it whenever he was on screen.
Yeah.
yeah,
He was almost he had a very James Dean-esque look to him.
Oh
Like
yeah, leather jackets,
his
cigarette hanging out of his
squinting,
mouth,
his smoking, the leather jackets, the like the
guitar,
various rock band shirts that he wears, like the shirts that he wears, and
9 Inch Nails.
yeah,
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 man. Dude was fucking hot.
Yeah.
yeah. Not gonna
oh
lie,
man.
Dude
dude's
was
totally
fucking
hot.
hot.
What I like too
Totally
is that
hot.
he shows the innocence of, not just as a young adult in general, and dealing with those
But
mixed
also, I
emotions.
feel like you can see the struggle of because he does state that he's very when it comes to engaging actively like in sexual intercourse with other guys.
Right.
So I feel like you can also see his his kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say vulnerability, but more of his character's struggle as a teenager to find out, okay, who am I really, who am I, you know?
Yeah, I guess innocence
And
is the wrong word, but he does kind of show the two sides of the coin, where it's like, well, he's also bi as well, so I mean, literally, like,
yeah,
It's questionable if he's bi though. He questions that in the movie though.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What about the rest of the characters? What do you guys think of that?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I mean, was certainly many that like stood out. I mean, I did
Yeah, they
the relationship between Eric and ooh, what was his name? I forget that guy's name. He was the one who he was usually recording with the camcorder.
Oh yeah,
Eric, the guy who gets beat up.
yeah. I felt like that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Slightly, just or at least he gets beat up. We had to get the physical side of the gay bashing in there, but it wasn't set up beforehand. Like they didn't. Okay, it might have been cliche to have a scene beforehand where some straight punks are hazing the gay people, but to have that at least, I would have expected that. I would have had that in the back of my head, and then when beating does happen, I was like, oh, I would have been like, oh no, something to kind of it raise the intensity a little bit, keep that suspense up.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
But I
you know
get
it's
why it's
coming because they
there.
kind of
I
allude
get
to
why
it
it's there though.
through stories that they tell each other, like, oh, there's a serial killer or there's people beating up. I think
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying though.
yeah, yeah. But anyways, yeah, the characters aside from Andy's character, I thought all of them were just kind of, eh. I mean, they all have distinct identities. They have wants and needs, but I just didn't quite gravitate to any of them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
just kind of, yeah, they just
I
kind of went off down the river.
I agree. I liked the guy filming, making the movie the most.
Yeah.
It just he felt the I don't remember his name, but he felt the most real to me. Um, he other than the James Dean guy. I'm horrible at names, so
James
Andy.
Duvall.
yeah, Andy, yeah. He felt also real. But yeah, I liked the fact that the characters felt like they're actually people. Like that was what kind of was different than Americans Sleepover, is that those characters kind of felt like they could have been real people, but this really feels like
More authentic.
if their acting was just a little bit better, I would have been totally convinced that this was a documentary.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's there's some really good moments of the awkwardness of living with your sexuality in a world that doesn't want you to have that feeling.
Hmm.
And I think
Yeah.
I think it shows that awkwardness and kind of the there's a proud feeling of or a proud theme of being happy with your sexuality, but also kind of feeling it seems like they kind of feel bad about it a little bit, and in a
Yeah.
way that's like not because of them but because of the systematic
Oppression.
yeah, not I wouldn't say oppression, but uh yeah, 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 maybe I would say oppression. Yeah,
I
I'll
would
take
I would also say I would also say like systematic depression, like especially for like this specific group of people,
Hmm.
like, it's just a really bad case of like you don't see like a lot of factors going in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't seem financially stable. They always keep bumping into stories like in the newspapers in the movie, like of teenagers killing themselves, and it like inevitably leads to Andy's demise, which
Yeah.
is
We
also
never
really
gave
unfortunate.
we, yeah, we never gave spoiler warnings at the beginning of this either.
Oh well.
that's fine. I mean, both movies have been out for over a
A
decade.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, it's tradition. We do it on the show here.
Well, I can throw it in post, but
Spoiler warning.
yeah. Ooh.
Too late.
Yeah.
Too late spoiler. Too late
Uh-oh.
spoiler.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
That
that's
actually.
yeah.
That actually. As the movie was wrapping up and Andy meets his poor fate, I was actually kind of on edge, honestly, because I like this character a lot, and he was suddenly being thrown a lot of bad cards, and he had no one around to go to. Everyone was just busy.
And that's
I
something.
Unfortunately.
don't remember. I don't like, and I like the fact that they don't point out like one defining like moment that really makes him go over. It's
Right.
like you kind of are left in the gray a little bit. Like you don't know what, made him want to do like kill himself. I kind of appreciated that. Like they left it, open-ended, a little bit vague.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can see why, but yeah, like you said, there's no like build up to like that moment. It's just kind of like he seems completely flustered, and like you can tell that he is in a really dark place. And I mean, they sort of allude to that in the very beginning of the film. I mean, the first shot of the film is talking about suicide rate among teens in the gay community, and so it's
Yeah.
like, and there doesn't. Sometimes there is no reason. Sometimes it's completely unexpected. But like the signs are there, the reasonings are obvious, but it's just not explicitly shown. And yeah, I agree. That is something that
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I don't know. I just had this random thought. That cocktail he makes made me sick just thinking about ingesting that. Ugh.
Yeah, definitely a sad scene.
Yeah.
You know?
First a full glass of brandy, as if that didn't want to make you puke. And then he breaks out all the other ingredients. Terrible.
Yeah, and see, this is interesting. The parallels between Sleepover's very hopeful and inspiring ending, where this is like, uh,
Completely
this
depressing.
man killed himself,
These,
and now they're kind of
yeah,
ending with
Just
that.
ends on a
Tragic.
really bad note.
yeah, these are the harsh realities of the outside kind of deal.
Yeah, very interesting kind of way to approach that,
Uh
but
huh.
also, uh, I don't know. Did you guys think it was a correct ending? I mean, I don't know if that correct's the right word, but do you think that was a
Yeah.
good way
Well,
to end?
as a straight white
Hopeful note?
male, I would say an ending like this does illustrate the point that there's a lot more pressure on this group of people, and it's a heavy it's an unfortunately a heavy burden for them to take, and sometimes they just can't hack it, and they don't see any other way out.
Right.
So I guess from my point of view, it's the right ending because it's real. It's the world they live in. Any other way wouldn't do it quite justice.
I feel like from the filmmakers, like it really is down to the filmmaker to properly answer this question. Like,
For sure.
I mean, he really could have, like, he could have ended this. Um, I mean, I can't speak for him, but I think he could have ended this any way that he wanted, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
I guess
I
I maybe
guess
worded that question incorrect, but I was just curious if you guys thought it was. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
Yeah. Chase, what thoughts do you have?
Um, I again, this is such a it's a I think it was ended fine. I'm a fan of non-traditional happy endings.
yeah.
Um, like honestly, I like really happy endings kind of like make me cringe. Because
Well, when
life is,
yeah, I was
you know,
saying when they're too perfect,
yeah, I
that's
mean,
yeah.
life isn't like that, you know? Shit like this is happening, and that's the part that's totally fucked up about it is that
Yeah.
this stuff is happening. And you know, if we're not giving the community the help that they need and deserve, it's, this is going to keep happening.
Right.
So I think the director ending it on this way is, you know, is necessary.
It's a
I
little bit
think
of a
yeah,
warning in a way.
it's
exactly. It's
almost
like
like
it's
it's a necessary not evil, but it's a necessary like ending that I guess needs to motivate people.
It's a
Yeah.
wake up. It's a wake up sort of ending. Like
Yeah.
get your
Yes.
head out of your ass and have a heart. You know.
Yeah, have some
Yeah.
fucking decency about
Give a shit.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Wake up, everyone.
we're in a especially now, like I think Victor, you sent this at a good time.
Mhm.
I think this world that we're in right now is such a divided and judgmental world for no reason. Like I was scrolling through TikTok. If for
Oh my gosh.
all the youngsters
Uh,
out there know about TikTok,
Shout out to
it's practically the new Vine. If you take,
nothing will ever replace Vine.
I'm saying it's if you take 5 minutes to
Oh, yeah.
like the stuff that you like, your For You page will just you'll just have gold every single night. I
And
easily
it's also too, it's just like most of, the humor that passes up, or I don't know, for me it's just like most of the humor that passes up just looking at this, it just makes me realize, wow, sooner or later this is gonna be our generation, or this is gonna be the people
leading.
runs like that's terrifying. And I don't know, that's for me too. Yeah. And
That's kind of the direction I was heading with that. I was looking.
Yeah.
There was a trans TikTok person making like a video, like literally about nothing. Like it wasn't anything. She was doing her own thing, minding her own business, and then you go into the comments and it's just these people, like like young kids, and of course when I mean people, it's just these young boys,
Yeah.
these fucking
yeah,
like
10-year-olds.
exact well, 10-year-olds. It's like from like not even 10, because 10 years old you're still not you're not aware of what makes people different. You're aware of the fact that people are different and you don't give a shit. Like
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
learned in middle school and high school and stuff like that, when you're starting to meet handfuls of different people with large majority of different views, but they just started like berating this girl for no reason. Like she
Yeah.
You'd
in
think.
it's
You'd
sad.
think. Yeah. You'd think in nearly 30 years
Exactly. It's
would
like
have learned.
exactly. So like the stuff where it's talking about the world and there was one of the girls was reading like a newspaper article about um a I don't even know what to call the person, but essentially it was just this person talking about how he just beats up gay people and for no reason. He's like enjoys it, and it's like you're literally I just can't see how you can grow up in a world or grow up in a mindset where you're obviously the villain in this story. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like what fucking world do you live in that you're like, oh, you know what, who I really think is the best like character and I could really get behind? Lord Voldemort. I really think Lord Voldemort's ideals are really the ideals that I want to live by and strive. It's like, no, you're rooting for fucking Harry Potter, this different
You're rooting for a person who's based off of Hitler.
exactly. It's like
Pretty
fucking Darth
much.
Vader and stuff. Like Star
Yeah.
Wars is different, so it's like, there's that fan base that likes the, it's different, but when it's
But
something
it's like
like
we live in a very self-centered society, especially today. But it's just
yeah,
gotten worse with all this stuff like TikTok and stuff like that.
exactly.
You just have social media just to like, I don't know, numb us all,
And
So it's just
it's scary to think about because in with the community and how progressive especially these last 10 years have been on pretty much all of the minority communities.
Mhm.
Like we've been
yeah.
pretty step forwards lately, and that's still not enough. And
Right.
it's scary to think about the fact that what if nothing had changed, like nothing at all had changed from when this movie was made to when now that we have social media and stuff. Like that's that's the scariest thing that
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed the fact that this felt real. This felt like something was, this was actually happening, and it's
Yeah.
sad. It probably is still happening, but we just don't hear it as much,
Yeah, and the thing too, it's like it
Yeah.
doesn't really touch on it too much, but essentially, like adults need to take responsibility for these actions and this sort of outdated, unethical mindset.
Exactly. It's all about how
Because
you raise.
exactly,
Alright.
and you know, there's also a lack of adults, quote unquote, like parents in this film as well.
Hmm.
It doesn't really
Yeah.
Yeah.
touch on that like parental figure or whatnot, and
Yeah.
I think it also is similar to maybe what Sleepover was doing, where it's sort of it's they're on their own almost in a way
Hmm.
in this
But
context.
but especially for this, it's really good that there are no parents, because it's like you said, it's down to the kids to decide what's good for them.
Yeah, and even the mention of a parent, it was like what that the one guy, he leaves his home and his stepdad or dad is like kicking him out of the house and calling him, disowning him for being gay, and it's like it's just showing like these like the parents need to
Different
be
traditions, yeah,
yeah,
almost, yeah.
exactly, like
Mm-hmm.
that older generation needs to influence the younger generation and show them just what's right, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think above all, no matter our opinions on the movie, it does a great job of sparking the conversation. It has a lot for the viewer to think about.
yeah, I feel like this has more of an impact than a lot of, I mean, I don't know, I just think that I don't know what I'm trying to say, it just feels
Well,
much
ranking,
different than what could be produced now, besides like
Yeah.
yeah, putting a rank on social impact, that's tough. That's tough to do if kind of not not quite fair.
what do you mean, a rank?
Well, no, just, or a comparison between like different uh art media, because they're all doing their part.
Oh no, for sure, for
they're
sure.
sparking the conversation.
Yeah.
Just some seem more honest than
Hmm.
others,
Yes.
and that's
Yeah.
why I really like this, because it just feels honest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Doesn't feel
respect that.
forced.
I
Of
think
course, I greatly respect that.
yeah, I do as well.
I
Um,
feel like it's, if anything, it's brutally honest.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
oh, absolutely.
doesn't
Yeah,
kid around.
yeah. I don't know. Do you guys have any other?
I feel content with my thoughts.
I do as well.
Okay, okay. Keep
Nathan.
yeah.
Same here.
All right,
Okay.
let's get to ratings then. I will hit this with I'll hit this with a 3 again, because maybe actually a 3.5, because it's got an edge in sparking the conversation, and it doesn't force it. It's very honest and upfront about the situation, makes no bones about what it's trying to say, and it's respectable in that regard. The film itself, though, I'm not quite big on a plotless narrative and kind of the stagnant, or not stagnant, but yeah, I guess the stagnant performances. Everyone's kind of still mumbling through things, but it has its own distinct visual style,
Hmm.
and it's thematically rich.
Definitely.
Okay. Chase.
Um, I'd probably give it a 3.5 as well. I liked it better than our previous film.
Yeah.
Um, I just it felt like there was more of a plot. There's not really as much of a plot, but
Yeah.
there's more of, you know, it's the mundane of surviving in a world as a, as a queer person is much more.
It's
I feel
rough.
bad for saying entertaining, but
Yeah.
it's, you know what I mean. Like it's
Sure.
more engaging. How about that? That's,
More
I think,
engaging.
Engaging.
Yes.
more
Was the right
engaging
word.
than watching teenagers, uh, you know, mumble over lines. It felt more real. Again, I agree with you, Nick. I'm not a big fan of these types of movies.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one because of subject matter.
Yes.
I'm very, very passionate about this community, and me not being a part of it. Like I said, I have tons of friends, family members that are a part of this community, and having their world be represented in a way that we as people who are not a part of it can experience the truth of it and not
Mhm.
have to and this isn't a you know a standardized textbook or
Yeah.
textbook description of what it's like to be queer in America.
Yes.
So yeah, I would give it 3.5. I give it a 3.5. If there was more of a plot, maybe I probably would move it to 4. I really love the title scenes. The very clearly
Yeah.
shot like from a camera onto a TV, like, and same thing with like the interview scenes. It's like I loved that. But
And
Yeah.
it's
yeah, if there was
crazy. It's crazy. Like also like there's some shots where it's just like camera filming like uh like filming a VHS like on a TV, and it's just like in some instances it's just like wow, the quality for that is just it's crazy that it even holds up today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Toaster recording. That's how I used to record gameplay footage.
yeah, exactly. But
It's nuts.
yeah, I give it a solid 3.5. And I didn't in I can't say I enjoyed watching this just because again it's not my type of film, but
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate it I appreciate it more than I did with American Sleepover, but in also a very different way. So
Yeah.
yeah, solid 3.5. Vicky
Cool.
boy, what about
All
you, my
right.
man?
I echo both of your statements on its impact on this scene of filmmaking and the importance its narrative is the importance of its narrative. Um, but I'm gonna from more of a filmmaking aspect. Um, I've only seen 3 of his films, but the way the way this film is put together and the way it's filmed speaks to me on like this is just I can't get enough of it. It speaks to
Yeah.
me so much,
It's
and
very it's very pick up a camera and go shoot type of
Yeah.
film.
and not only the filmmaking qualities of it, but also these themes, these very real and hard to confront themes of like isolation and hopelessness and just
Mhm.
wanting to be happy like everyone else. It's sad. It's so
It
sad.
is very much so,
Um,
and
Tragic.
it's a polar opposite of American Sleepover too.
right, where that's more of an
Mm-hmm.
ambiguous kind of feeling. This
Exactly.
is more like this is like in your face, and
Mhm.
I just I appreciate the way he, puts these angsty, angry characters together, shows their faults, their beauties, and just shows them for what they are. It's great, and I think Greg's voice is like it's awesome. I'm glad this was I'm glad this was made. I'm glad he was able to
Yeah,
do this, and
absolutely.
Yep.
this just, for me shows why 90s independent cinema is like oh it's I don't know, I like these kind of films. It's completely my jam, so I'm a little
Mhm.
bit biased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
also too, the music is the licensed tracks in this. Greg uses a lot of like alternative like 90s rock, like industrial metal
Yeah.
and shoegaze,
Uh-huh.
and that's just like that he's the only director that I know that uses this type of music, and it creates this very gritty alternative world that is it's just so well realized. I
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not my favorite of the few I've seen, but I'm still gonna give it a 4 because it really does speak to me, and I think he's confronting some themes that are just
Mm-hmm.
feel very raw, And
Gotcha.
yeah, I don't know.
Real quick side note I forgot to mention. So Sleepover had a mock Mothra movie as a prop movie. This one just straight up uses footage from Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, and I was very happy about just seeing that. Because there's a cutaway shot to Rodan, and then later on there's a cutaway shot to buildings falling over. And I recognize that model destruction anywhere.
Who would
Yeah,
have thought these two films would have two kaiju references?
yeah, right?
Chances.
Can't believe it.
The two most normal movies, and you'd think it'd have nothing to do with like monsters at all.
Yeah.
Monsters were us the entire time.
Ooh.
Whoa. Hate those kind of movies.
All right. Well, yeah, I think I'm kind of that. My rambling's over.
Nathan, final thoughts.
Oh, okay. I mean, hearing your guys' thoughts on it too, it's just like I'm like constantly changing my opinion too. But I don't know. For me, I think I'm gonna give it a 3. My personal like opinion on it as a film and not as a message.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not. This is again. I'm not very too much into indie movies in general, and this is the pinnacle of. So yeah, I'm not. I don't like it that much, but I do stand by its message, and I really adore what the filmmaker's message is and what he's trying to convey through this movie is. And I really like that he just, with that message, just conveys just the hopelessness, a certain
Mm-hmm.
community faces, and and the discrimination that they face, and even through possibly today. And it you know again, it's really shocking that you guys brought this up earlier. It's just shocking that it's, if it's happened in 93, it if it's happening in 93 and it's happening now, I mean, where are we going with this?
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
actually made any progress?
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Yeah, you
Definitely.
couldn't have said it any better myself.
It's just,
Average-ish movie, but a powerful message.
yeah. And
For
it's
Victor more so, but the rest of us, yeah.
but also too, it's just, the more you think about it, the more personally I just feel super depressed about it. So it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I need to go watch American Graffiti to feel better about myself.
yeah. But yeah, that's my wrap on it.
Cool, man.
Perfect.
Nice.
Excelente.
Well,
Yeah, good choices there, Vic.
Good couple of
hey,
picks, Victor.
thanks. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to enlighten myself this much tonight, but I'm not opposing it.
I'm just glad you guys found something to take away from both of these. It makes me happy.
Absolutely.
It's
Um,
nice. Feels good.
so, yeah, guys, I don't know. I think that about wraps it up.
That wraps up this episode.
Nathan, do you have anything to plug? Are you working on anything? Or maybe not now,
No.
but anything you're working on?
Not really. I'm just a normal human being. I don't have no, of course I'm a human being. Why would I not say that?
Yeah.
Um
You're trying to act, aren't you?
yes, I am. I am in the very early stages of trying to get there.
Good.
Like any actor, I'm really trying to make it to LA. Obviously, COVID-19 took the rails off that, or
Yep.
specifically took the rails off. It took the engine off the train and just left us in a train station with, I don't know, like 2
Actually, it
cents.
kind of derailed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. But
Completely
yeah,
derailed
just
everything.
Yeah, just trying to consume as much of that stimulus check that I have left over.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that unemployment welfare. So,
There you go.
yeah. But yeah, again, really thanks you guys for letting me
It
be
is
on.
it is our pleasure, dude.
Absolutely.
Man, I'm glad you're able to join, and we would love to have you on again. I think you're a solid. I think you fit right into the cinephilia.
Yeah, you're amazing conversationalist.
Real cinephile you are.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're a
Yeah,
sick
I
cinephile.
don't know if the philia and the ending for those two words is just I don't know, but yeah.
well, yeah. Next time we should have you recommend a couple films. We could talk about that later in the future. I would love to see
Yes.
what you would want to bring on, and just
Yes,
keep
yes.
the discussion going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we could really hammer home your interests and sort of just hash it all out.
that
Sort
would
of
be
thing.
great. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah.
Of
Of
course.
Cool, yeah.
course.
Yeah, just hammer it home. Which segues perfectly into our next movie.
Oh
Nice. Okay.
boy.
Well, I don't know who's doing the next episode's films. I think Chase.
I think it's me. Yeah.
Might do you because
Yeah.
we actually kind of skipped you this run, and
Oh, it's fine.
it's
It's
not.
whatever.
But I think we are.
It's not fine.
I guess maybe just reveal what films you're gonna recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to be choosing Scott Pilgrim versus the World by Edgar Wright. And then The Matrix, original Matrix by the Wachowskis.
Yes.
I can't wait.
This is gonna be lit. This is gonna be a lit
I'm
episode.
very excited. I usually I have a very strong addiction to like Blu-rays.
Yeah.
And I don't own The Matrix on Blu-ray, so that means I gotta go pick it up, which I'm gonna be pretty pumped for. So, but
Right on.
yeah, it should be fun. I'm interested to see how we can relate the two. I mean, there's obvious like
Style. All
style
style.
differences, but there's like all yeah. I'm gonna be excited to see how we can uh compare and contrast the two. So
Yes.
Right
Let's
on.
do
yeah.
this.
Well, just to kind of say what I said at the beginning. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you liked what you
Mhm.
just let's listen to. Make sure to give us a nice little rating if
Yeah.
you
We're
could.
on we're on here, we're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on that other site that I just found out about. Pop
Podbean.
up Podbeam.
Podbean.
Podbean. Any
Podbean.
support helps. We're just a group of people who like talking about movies, and any support is literally like a kiss on the forehead. It is
Yeah.
one of the most soft, beautiful things. So
And if you can convince
And
a friend to subscribe, that's that's getting into first base territory.
that's
And
yeah.
if we have that friend tell someone, then
More like
we're-
friend space territory. I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and to
Space,
our
yeah.
faithful listener and to our
First
faithful
bases, I don't
listeners
know.
and to our faithful listeners, mwah, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for
So
listening, everyone. Have a good week. Stay safe. And just I don't know. Stay safe, everyone.
Stay
absolutely.
safe. Be nice to people.
Be nice.
Rough
Have
time
a
for everyone. If you don't
Yeah,
like
just
wearing a
be
mask,
kind.
then fucking grow up and put your mask on.
Save a
Yeah.
life,
Mask
prevent
on.
a death. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cinema Speak tuning out.
Bye bye.